VMed is so large here that we have flexibility. We'll also tell you that if you're interested
So I would like to welcome everyone to the School of Engineering General Advising webinar. My name is Kim Loring. I am one of the Hub advisors here, and I look forward to giving you some more information about the subject.
slot to the teaching assistant
And my name is Bulos Abdallah. I am another advisor here in the Hub. This is the rest of our team. This is what we look like. And we are currently in the process of bringing in another advisor as well. So hopefully we will get a good start to the semester. All right, so this is just kind of a brief overview of what to expect in this presentation. It should only run about a half hour or so not too much time. We'll just kind of go over a little bit about who we are, what we do as the Hub. We'll go over some major templates, what to expect, what classes that you're going to be taking for your specific major, how to register for those specific classes. If you had any questions about transferring courses and getting your credits transferred in here, we'll be going over those as well. And then a brief overview of some important dates to have circled on your calendar. We'll kind of go over a list of those as well.
So we kind of define courses, make sure, whether it's the MCAT or.
So what is the SoE Hub? We are staffed by experienced advisors who offer academic support for all engineering majors for just the first 2 semesters here. So what that means is after your first year, you're going to be transferred to a faculty advisor. So someone's going to be sitting down with you. They've got industry, academic experience. They'll be able to kind of give you the same sort of advice that we give, but it's just going to be coming from someone that actually teaches the material as well. So Hub Advisors, what we do is we assist students to determine your unique academic path through RPI while fulfilling all of your degree requirements, which we will be going over throughout the presentation. Where are we located? So while you're on campus, be sure to swing by and say hello, introduce yourself. So we're on the 3rd floor of the Johnson Engineering Center, also known as the JEC. If you walk down past the engineering exhibit / museum that we have on the 3rd floor, keep walking down that super long hallway. You'll see the dean's office on the right. We're inside what's called the Ansel Lounge. So if you walk into the Ansel Lounge, we're kind of tucked away in the back. That is where the Hub is located. So like I said, please feel free to swing by, say hello, introduce yourselves. We like to meet people in person, especially after a long couple of COVID years, right?
Oh, sure.
So we offer 11 different engineering majors, ones that you've probably seen or heard of. There are 13 on this slide right here. The extra 2 are the pre-med biomedical engineering and the undeclared engineering majors. It's still not too late to change your major in the admissions portal. If you were having any second thoughts about your current major, now is the time to make those changes. Now is the time to sit down and meet with us to talk about those thoughts, those feelings about your current major. But if you had any lingering thoughts or ideas or just worries or anxiety about your current major after the start of the semester, you can always come back and talk to us about it. There's a lot of information on our website about each of these majors. We kind of go in depth about what classes are offered for all the majors. And I think in the next slide, Kim's going to be taking it away and kind of give you an example of how to read the templates as well. Yeah, so if you had any questions about any of these majors or your major, please seek us and we will sit down and we will talk it out.
And if it fits your schedule, great. Come up with a backup just in case.
Yes. Okay. So now this is the part of the planning, the process. How do you go about that? So you see on the screen right now, we're looking at the mechanical engineering templates. Generally for your first year, you're going to see pretty much the same classes, not economics, chemistry, physics, mathematics. And then you might see a class IEA or a different one to replace that depending on majors. So what's nice about it, I'm just going to go over what you're looking at real quick, and then I'm going to show you exactly where to find these resources. So to the left, you're going to see a PDF. So it is the macro view of the mechanical engineering program. And then you're going to see a bunch of footnotes down here, which some programs have more than others. But it gives you a good idea of what to anticipate over the next 4 years. Generally, we don't see students manipulating this too much unless they have the Adobe products. But like I said, it gives you a macro view. To the right here, we have the Excel document, and this is all formatted already for you by us. And it has the same classes in there, but it gives you the credit count. It allows you to manipulate that, copy and paste, move things around. If you have any transfer credits, it allows you to put those in there as well. And then sometimes we have students that want to take summer courses. So we want it all on this plan because you're going to meet with us anyway in the spring for a mandatory meeting. And we're going to go through your 4-year plan, mainly focusing on the first 2 years, just to make sure you're set for next year when you move over to your faculty advisor. But that way you have a plan, you know what to anticipate, you know what to look for, and you can have these deeper conversations with your faculty advisors. So this is just what they are. I'm going to stop and go to up. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me go back. I'm going to go to the SoE Hub's website. So this is where we house everything when it comes to the engineering hub. When we talk about templates, Haas, anything like that, as long as you have this website, you pretty much have all the resources, or at least the buttons to get to the resources housed in that one area. So when you look at it, if you've been to drop-in hours, if you're here, obviously, you've seen this main page at this point. So right here, you see the webinar timeframes. If you missed it, recordings, our drop-in hours, we actually currently have drop-in hours happening as well. So any additional questions you may have, we're going to be here to support you. Now, where do you find those templates? Where do you find all those other documents? You're going to click on your Class of 2027 button because you guys get a special button. And you can scroll down. These are general questions we get about different departments where we're not affiliated with. So we're academic advisors. We focus on academics, anything residence life, dining, such as that. You can go directly to that department and they're going to help you out with that. Recommended to-do list, mainly focused on transferring those credits. If you missed the transfer credit webinar where we go into detail, we will briefly go over it today, but there's another webinar where you can watch the full recording where we answer questions. Registrars are answering questions, so that's a great resource as well. And then right here, you have how to create your fall schedule, the big, what should I be doing? So this right here is the button to the Excel spreadsheet, which I believe I have right here. And this one's particular nuclear. We have them housed all together. So if you're undeclared, it's really nice because you have your undeclared area, but you can also look at the other templates for the other majors all in one place. If you are already a mechanical major and you're like, I'm sticking with mechanical, you can delete the rest of them. You don't need to keep it. But the nice thing is everything is in one location. There's explanation of the different elective choices. And then also once the course catalog is finalized in August, you'll be able to utilize the catalog and cross-reference the two with each other. Again, like I said, you can edit these if you wanted to, say, take Calc 2 over here because you transferred in Calc 1 and delete. You see the numbers are recalculating based on the number. Obviously, this one didn't because it's the same credit hours. But like I said, we're right now focused on the fall. You don't have to worry about your 4-year plan, but this is a great resource for you to use and to save because everything's been done for you. So the hassle of it, done. It's great. So that's that form. Let me go back to the website. Here's the major template. So these are the macro views, the PDFs. So you can see all the different majors in here. Again, we'll go back to mechanical. A much better viewpoint of it, and you can actually see the footnotes. So both those resources right there. We have the Haas worksheet, which we get a lot of questions about Haas. I'm not going to go into too much detail about Haas, but if you do have questions about inquiry courses, or specific questions that you put in the chat, we'll answer those at the end. But this is a great checklist for you. So it goes over what's a Haas inquiry, what's a pathway, communication intensive, and 4,000. Goes over that you need 5 Haas courses. So you'll see us reference this a lot. You'll also see upperclassmen utilize this form continuously, even if they change change pathways. So again, another great resource. Next is our Quack software. So you might already seen this, you might already used it. You might have laughed at the name like I did the first time I heard Quacks. So this is a non-RPI sponsored website, but it is great for planning your schedules. It was developed by RPI students, so they understand what you're going through, these upperclassmen. So the nice thing is you can go to your fall of 2023, and then you can search classes by specific areas, or if you know specifically what you're going to take, like math 1010, calc 1, you can click on it and select it. So if it turns purple, that means you selected it. If you see it crossed out, that means it's no good. It's not going to work with your schedule based on the other classes you chose. It'll also be red if it's not highlighted to already tell you that. But I already developed a schedule just to show you guys. So this is what it looks like. So I would say there's a few options for you guys in this example. So you can switch through all these and see what works for you. Some people are like, I don't want that. I don't want multiple 8 a.m.s. But it puts all the information there for you. And something I want to focus on for Quacks is this number right here. It's a 5-digit number. It's called your CRN. And what that is, it's the designated 5-digit number for that class, that section, that professor, everything. So if you already plan all this, when registration comes up, you can take those numbers and you're going to input those into your SIS, which is the official registration tool. It's where you see official transcripts. It's where you do your financial agreement. It's literally the housing of everything RPI for you. So this is, like I said, just planning software versus you're going to actually register through SIS. And that's going to be the next screen that I show you guys. Bulos, do you have anything that you want to add that I might have missed for Quacks?
Yeah, I just want to kind of just make it clear real quick for everybody too that there are test blocks and there are like recitation blocks. There's mentoring on here. If you do end up signing up for physics mentoring, that's only available in the fall. Usually when you see that the professor's name is actually TBA, that's how you know that it's one of those special blocks. So just keep that in mind. So for example, here, the physics on Tuesday at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, that's a test block. That doesn't mean you're going to be meeting every single night on Tuesday night. You'll only be meeting at that time when there's an exam, of which I think there's 4 or 5 big exams during the semester, but I could be totally wrong about that number. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear for everybody. Just keep an eye on those sorts of things.
Thanks, Bulos. And there's another website, which we also have on here that called the class hour schedule. And I'll just briefly show it, but it gives you a breakdown of what's lecture, what's maybe a seminar, what's the testing block. So you can literally control F, and then I'm going to use chem as an example, just because that tends to be the big one. So in this example, lecture, LEC, is Tuesday and Friday, 10 o'clock. You have a recitation, which is a smaller class breakdown from the lecture, so it allows you to ask more questions if you didn't understand something. That's going to be on Thursdays, 10 o'clock. The lab is on Thursdays, 11 to 1:50, and then you have that test block on Wednesdays, 8 to 8:50. So if you do have questions, you see those blocks, you're like, what the heck is that? Go to the class hour schedule, and then you can kind of get a better breakdown. Sometimes we have to use it all the time as advisors because we don't know all the information, but we know where to look. So again, great resource. So going back, okay, so now I'm going to go back to the presentation. Let me go back to that. We're gonna, okay, so we did this already. So now into the fun part, how to register. What should you be worrying about right now? Well, first, hopefully you have a SIS account. And if you don't have a SIS account, you need to get one. You can go just straight to the IT page if you need help with it. Or you can reach out to us if you're totally confused, but you need this account for everything. So once you get your SIS account, you want to go to your student menu. you want to make sure you view your holds. Everyone's going to have a financial responsibility agreement each semester. So this annoying thing is going to show up just to make sure you understand you got to pay, you got to have everything set before you can register, that sort of thing. So you'll sign off on that, and then automatically that hold's removed. If you do not remove that and you go in to register for your time ticket, you're not going to be able to. So make sure you sign off on that today if you haven't done so already. Also, right now you can check your time ticket. So how do you check your time ticket? SIS, student menu again, and then you're going to go right to check registration status. So this one right here. And it's going to give you the time frame and then also the start time. And you want to make sure you're on at that start time because not everyone has the same time. So if you have an 8 a.m. on the 25th, you're most likely one of the first people to register. You want to get on there so you make sure you get the classes that you want because classes will fill up. And going back to planning, sometimes you do need backup plans. You might have to take an 8 a.m. It's not the end of the world. It's not your favorite, but just make sure you have a backup. So when you're in here, we talked about cross-referencing Quacks with SIS. You can go to the class search function under student menu, and then you can search by class if you want to double check. The day of registration, when it opens up on the 25th, I wouldn't recommend using Quacks for the amount of seats left available because there is a 15-minute dwell period that it doesn't load from loading from SIS itself. So if you have a 12 o'clock on the 25th and a bunch of people have been registering and it says some people that all the seats are available in Calc 1, that's not correct. You want to go check in class search and then you'll see the breakdown of the amount of students in that section itself. And I'm going to go through that on this page. So once you go to class search, you'll select the fall semester and then you can search it by subject. So in this example, we used INQR, so inquiry, Haas inquiry courses. So if you're looking at this example right here, science, tech, and society, it's saying that there's a cap of 38 seats, zero enrolled, which is actual, and 38 remaining. So right now there's 38 seats in this section. So if you're planning on taking and registration's open up for you, you're going to be able to get a spot in there. If you look to the right under attribute, it'll also tell you if it's a comm intensive, if it's Haas inquiry, if it's both. So you are able to take a Haas inquiry that's a communication intensive and it will meet both requirements. Sometimes students can put in their pathway as well. It'll meet all three of those requirements. So yeah, you definitely want to review those classes. If you have questions, obviously that's what we're here for. So viewing restrictions. So unfortunately, there's some classes that do have restrictions. Some towards certain majors. GSAS is one of them, the gaming systems one. This one for the Science, Tech, and Society inquiry course, if you click on the actual, so when you're searching it, the CRN, if you click on that, it'll bring you to this part of the page. You'll click in again for this link, and it's going to bring you to a broader screen, and it'll tell you if there's any restrictions on the bottom. So as it says, restrictions is only that you're a freshman. So as long as you're a freshman, you can get into that section. So if you ever are wondering, like I said, if there's any restrictions, that's how you look. If you try to register for a class that does have restrictions and you don't know it beforehand, it won't let you register and it'll state the reason why. And I believe that's on the next screen. Yeah, so right here, that's the reason for this one for time conflict. But if it was a prereq issue or a major issue, it would state so there. So what do you do to register in itself? So student menu again, and you're going to go to register, add, or drop. And then you're going to get a screen that looks like this, where it's going to have probably about 7 blanks left for CRNs. Most likely you're not taking 7 classes, hopefully not the first semester at least. But you can add those CRNs from when you plan from Quacks, and you can insert them all at once and submit everything at once. So again, that planning really helps out, especially with the time tickets. The sooner you get registered, obviously, the sooner you can get in the seats, hopefully, that you want. And then submit the changes. We always want to make sure we hit submit. And then if you receive an error message, like I said, it's going to populate and tell you the reason why. Once you submit those changes, we always say go to view your schedule. Like make sure everything looks good. Make sure you're registered for the right section. Sometimes people have multiple schedules that they were planning on doing and they end up choosing their second choice when they really wanted their first choice. So you have the ability to look at all that on your SIS account.
I just want to remind everybody too, if you have any questions, please let us know. Either type it in the chat if you're currently watching live, or if you're watching the video, just reach out to us and we are happy to answer those questions. So moving on to the transfer credit process, there's a few different types of credits that you can transfer. They are AP credits, IB credits, or Cambridge A level exams. With the AP credits, it's split into two categories. You must earn at least a 5 in math, science, or engineering for those scores to be for those scores to count and for them to be transferred. You're going to have to request the scores and then have them sent to RPI. The other category is Haas. So RPI accepts either a 4 or a 5 for Haas credits. Same thing, you're going to request the scores and have them sent to RPI. IB credits are a little bit different. You're going to need to earn a 6 or a 7 on any test. Same thing to AP credits, you're going to have to request those scores and then have them sent to RPI. Cambridge level or Cambridge A level exams need to be either an A or a B. The transcript is going to have to be requested and then sent to RPI. When I say send to RPI, I mean send them to the registrar's office specifically. The email address is transfercredit@rpi.edu, but all that information can be found on the registrar's website.
It was a little crazy.
Two different types here is dual enrollments and transfer summer credits. So dual enrollments, if you took any classes while you were in high school and those classes were not applied towards your high school diploma, as long as you got a C- or better, you can have those credits transferred. In order for it to be transferred in, it cannot count towards your overall high school graduation credits, just as I said there. The form, it's called the incoming freshman transfer credit procedure / high school certification form. If you're not sure where to find it, it's going to be on the registrar's website as well. After you have that form filled out by someone at your high school and signed, they're going to need to send it to the registrar's office along with the transcript in order for those credits to transfer. The transfers, how to transfer summer credits, it's a bit of a different process because it's a different form. Still need to have a C- or a better for that credit to transfer over. You're going to need a signature from the department head. You're also going to need a signature from your advisor. You're going to need some information about the class as well. So basically what this class is, if you took a class this summer that you wanted to use towards your college credit, so like a physics class or a calculus class, for example, this is the course that this is the form that you're going to need to fill out and have it sent to RPI, just as you did for the other credits as well. When should you have your credits transferred in by? Officially speaking, according to the registrar, first-time freshmen are required to complete all AP, IB, Cambridge A-level, or dual enrollment credit requests by the end of the first year to be considered for transfer. However, if you were to ask any of us in the hub, our recommendation is to get all of these credits transferred in prior to the start of the fall semester. So get it in now. That way we have everything in front of us when we sit down together, when we meet. That way we can build out a 4-year plan together with the most sort of accuracy. Once again, all the information about transfer credits can be found on the registrar's website. The link is down there. Please feel free to refer to that site. And if you have any sort of questions or if you're feeling confused by any of that, please let us know and we'll be able to kind of sort that out for you. So some important dates here to keep in mind. You should all already have your time ticket assigned. Just as Ken explained, if you log into SIS, click on student menu, click on check registration status, you should be able to pull up that information. The window for registration opens on July 25th and closes on August 1st. We're currently right now in the consultation period. We have been hosting drop-in hours. We're currently hosting drop-in hours right now. So please feel free to connect with us if you have any questions or if you're confused by any of these processes or anything that we've explained so far. Probably the biggest date on this list right here is the first day of class, August 28th. You will have 2 weeks to make any sort of adjustments to your schedule. So if you needed to add a course, you'll be only able to do that until September 11th. And then if you feel like you have a little bit too much on your plate, or if you feel like you are wanting to go in a different direction, you're able to drop courses. The drop deadline is on October 20th.
Hey, Willis, I'm going to interrupt. There's one period that we don't have on there, and that's when registration opens back up. So registration is going to open back up August 8th and will be open till that September 11th deadline for adding classes. So even during that first freshman registration week, if you don't get the classes you want or you're not so sure, you do have from August 8th to September 11th to make changes. So obviously, if you're unsure about things, like I said, you can always make any updates. If there's a spot that's missing from one of the classes you want, and then you see it opens up later on, you can always switch into that section. So that 1 week of freshman registration is not going to be the end all be all if you don't want it to be. So just be aware of that registration being open again as of August 8th.
Thank you, Kim. All right, so this brings us to the end of our presentation. There are a couple of questions in the chat. There was one that I sort of answered already. That question was, does an inquiry course that is also a communication intensive course count for both? The answer is yes. So Kim kind of showed us earlier how you can find a course that is either a Haas inquiry or communication intensive in the attribute column under the class search feature. So yeah, so if it's both, then absolutely, it could definitely count for both. Another question that came in, it's a little bit more of a complicated question. We're trying to get an answer for you right now. Is a 7 in IB higher level math application with more graph theories the same as a 7 in IB higher level math analysis, which is more calculus? Or do they transfer to different credits in different math courses? So we're still trying to get the answer for that. I believe it's a yes, as long as it's a 6 or a 7, I think it'll be okay. But if there's any issues, Jan, follow up with us maybe in the next couple of days, or we'll follow up with you in the next couple of days, but we'll let you know. But short answer, I believe it's a yes. I think you're going to be okay. Yeah, so we'll stick around. If anybody has any additional questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away or type it in the chat. We are happy to take those questions. Yeah, no, thank you, Jan. Appreciate you asking.
All right, it looks like there's no more questions at this point, so we will be ending the webinar. Please follow up with us during any drop-ins. We are happy to help. And thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.